Hey everybody, welcome back to Eric's Creative. I'm in the shop again today. Got lots of projects that I'm trying to get started on, get finished up. Many of them are already in process and things. Recently with the reverting back to doing like rings made by hand from wood. By the way, I don't have a lathe, so none of the rings and anything like that I make are actually made on a lathe. But that has given me, or created, the need and the opportunity to go back to using this bandsaw here. Now, if you look at my overview and review of this bandsaw, you'll find that I do not particularly love this thing. That has not changed. But at the same time, I would like to take this moment to explain that this bandsaw does function for a lot of things. But there's still a lot of cons to it, and you can find that in my review of the bandsaw. So why am I coming to you with this at the moment? Well, first off, I don't want anybody to think I hate Ryobi or Ryobi. It's for the price you pay, it is what it is, and it can work for certain things. So what have I been doing with this that kind of gives you an idea? Well, all my sculptures like this, I have been cutting out on this bandsaw. All of my cutting boards or cheese boards or whatever, I've been cutting out the rough shapes of them. There's a like that and like this one on the bandsaw. So you can do a lot with it. Now, I will say that the other day I bought a pack of the Bosch bandsaw blades, the 3-pack from Home Depot, because that's the only ones that they carry, and that's the only ones that are in my local area. And since the guide on this isn't super great, no matter where you put this guide, it still has a lot of flex in the bandsaw blade, more than like a very high-end traditional woodworking bandsaw would. I bought a set of bandsaw blades. I was using the 1/4-inch bandsaw blade for wood and non-ferrous metals, and within like half an hour of use with the walnut, the bandsaw blade broke. And I mean, what do? It is, there goes, you know, the third of your $20 you just spent on bandsaw blades. So that is one thing. And this the guides on the side here for the blade are plastic, so it gets caught and it moves and stuff. It has a lot of flaws, but you can use it. I mean, you can use it for lots and lots of stuff, especially with stuff that's like poplar or, oh, what is it everybody uses here for door frames and stuff? It's, I don't remember what it's called, but it's another soft hardwood that you can use. It's a non-dense hardwood. You can use it on that, but when you start getting into like oaks, especially aged oaks and walnuts and things, maples, it has a tendency to burn a little bit because it just can't handle that feed rate. It's not just the blade. I've tried different blades. It's just the machine. It lets the blade move around a little too much, but it can be usable. It can be usable. And then real quick, for a tip on your bandsaw blade, on your bandsaw, this one, like most cheap ones, has a very small table on it. That's not ideal, because if you're working with, even like this piece here, which only measures about 5 inches, the problem is, because it's rounded on the profile of it, on the bottom profile, if you don't have this piece here, then it hangs off and it's not flat. So a tip for that is, if you just use a piece of 1/4-inch plywood and you run it through as a zero tolerance deck, or, you know, man, my mind's not working today, a zero tolerance insert, then if it's long enough, you can actually shift that forward a little bit and you still have zero tolerance. Sorry, still trying to get over the scoff. But now you have that extended area so that you can set pieces like this. Of course, if it's longer, then you'll need a longer deck and maybe something a little bit thicker that's like 3/8 or a quarter, or half or something like that. And then you can push it through and it gives you that flat area. The problem with this, of course, is the thicker this material is, the less space you have vertically between the bottom of the blade guide and the top of your material. So you're going to effectively be cutting the height of what you can push through the bandsaw with it. So there's pros and cons to it, but if you're using it for small things like bandsaw boxes or sculptures and this kind of stuff, this is a special project I haven't announced yet, then yeah, it can work like that because you have enough space here and it gives you the length you need to push it through. So thought that might just be a helpful hint for you guys and a helpful tip if you're working with smaller pieces of equipment. If you're working with like a big jet or a Delta or a Shop Fox or whatever bandsaw, then this is not going to be your issue, especially if they're like 16-inch ones and all that, because usually the deck is considerably longer and you can push things through. This is really a hobbyist machine. It's made specifically so that you can just run small stuff and learn how to use a bandsaw, and they kind of expect that once you get into higher end stuff or bigger stuff, like I want to get into large scale sculptures, and if I do that, then this is definitely not going to work, but we'll see what happens with all that. So as time goes on, I'll be reviewing different things that you can do to this to make it more practical. I'll be trying some new bandsaw blades hopefully in the near future as well to tell you which ones I like and how they are for their value. And I have still some reviews to do on the Ryobi combo sander that I have here. And I just got my cut saw wheel today, the original coarse grain, and I'll be using that today for the first time hopefully. So all this stuff is coming up. I will be doing more videos, and never forget that the products that apply to Amazon purchasing, because I am an Amazon affiliate, will be linked in the description of this video. The only one that I can think of that would actually function in that, well, maybe two. I don't know if the Bosch bandsaw blades are on there. They're not terrible, they're not great, so keep that in mind. I'm not encouraging you to buy something just to buy it, but if you're working with something that's really bad, then you might want to try the Bosch, but I'm looking into other brands because I'm not super satisfied with them either. And then of course the cut saw wheel is on Amazon. That's where I bought mine, so look for those links in the description. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.